So you got a few questions about gold and silver. All right. I don't know if you're going to like my answers, but I'll give it a go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again. Thanks for tuning in. If you are here in the United States, I'm going to be releasing this hopefully by Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving. I know a lot of you guys are excited. I'm excited. It's one of my favorite holidays, if not my favorite holiday. So really pumped to spend some time with family and friends this Thanksgiving holiday. All right. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. So you got questions and I've got my answers. So hopefully it helps you out. And we're going to go with grandma codes. Am I saying that right? What is your opinion on stacking fractional gold versus stacking silver for wealth preservation? Thanks in advance. Whew, that's a tough one. All right, so my opinion of stacking fractional gold versus silver is right now it's gold. I'd rather pay the one-time premium versus the premium on every single ounce of silver. It's a little bit more cost effective for me that way in that regard. Why should I pay a 20, 30, 40% premium for 1 ounce versus paying a 20% premium for a possibly, the 10th of an ounce? So if you were to buy a silver eagle tube, right, just 20 ounces of silver, then essentially what you're paying for in premium on silver, you could get a 10th ounce of gold instead. So in my eyes, right now in this current environment, it's fractional gold. The next question is from, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy, but 2 is 1 asks, do you have a number in mind or even a rolling percentage you think of as a stopping point for stacking? As an example, if you had 100 ounces of gold, would you still be buying more? Now, the question is, that's kind of difficult because my end goal, first and foremost, I'd love to have 100 ounces of gold, and I find that to be plenty. My number one goal is to not be working for someone else in the next 5 years. I would want to be self-employed. Now, if that makes it to where I can't stack gold in order to achieve that goal, then absolutely, then I would stop, because that is my end goal, is to not work for the man, but to be the man. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense there. But yes, if I was still in my current environment, then yes, I would still continue stacking. The next question from Bionic Fishy Fish, better known as an inefficient stacker. He asks, is there any reason to stack 4 nines fine silver over 3 nines fine silver in your opinion? Here in the United States, absolutely not. Now, if you live in Canada, you are taxed more on your bullion if you don't buy it in 4 nines fine. Hence the reason why all of their bullion is 4 nines fine. Just like the maples, right? All this, that's 4 nines fine. These right here, these are all 4 nines fine as well. So here in the United States, you don't get more or less for your 4 nines fine. So it really doesn't make sense. It just depends on where you live, really. But as of here in the United States, no, there's no reason to stack one or the other. Matthew Petrov asks, is it worth having some fractional gold? If so, what is your recommended breakdown of 1/10 ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce, or 1 ounce gold bullion coins? Now, it really depends personally on your finances and where, what you're wanting to allocate each month or each year to gold. Me, I don't have a problem buying the 1 ounce coins. So therefore, premium wise, I would prefer to buy those instead. But I do see the need for fractional gold, like your fractional gold eagles, for instance. I think these are a better buy, because if you're of the mindset that you think that gold is going to continuously go up over time, because we can look back over the years, over a 30-year span, and look at gold's performance. It's done well. So if you're buying 1/10 of an ounce gold, if you're buying quarter ounce gold, if you're buying half ounce gold, whenever it comes time for you or your family or whatever you're gonna do with your gold, whenever it comes time that time to sell, you're gonna do better off with fractional gold in the long run. So it's a no-brainer. I think you should buy fractional gold. All right, 603 Stacker asks, When you first started with gold and silver, what was the dream coin you wanted to acquire but didn't think you would? And have you acquired it? Yes, I have. It's a gold buffalo. When they first came out in 2006, I became infatuated with them in 2008. But I was at a point in my life where I could not afford gold, let alone silver at that time. I was just barely getting by, living paycheck to paycheck, just like most Americans do now. Thankfully, I've got my finances and my house in order, and I've made a lot more money now than I did back then. I was a young parent, started off behind the 8 ball. The gold buffalo was it for me, and I finally got one, and I decided to keep going, and I'm extremely happy about it. Is there another one that I'm thinking about? Not really. The gold buffalo was it for me. I guess it would be the tiger and the dragon. Yeah, the tiger and the dragon. That's my other favorite coin, and can't seem to find one of those that's a decent price. So next up is John Morgan. He asks, what should we be stacking for the best gains? What works best to hedge inflation? What is better weight or value? Collectible limited vintages versus bullion. So there's a lot of questions in there, John. So what should we be stacking for best gains? I try not to look at it as far as gains goes. This is just where I park as a savings account. If I was looking at gains, I would most likely look to the market instead. That's where you're going to get your better gains, because I don't personally want to sell my gold or my silver. I just want to lock it up. I just want to lock up collateral, essentially. I just want to use this as my savings account. Is you're locking in your wealth at a certain price range, and that's what I do with gold and silver. Now, what works best to hedge inflation? I would say gold. It actually does a lot better against inflation over time. And maybe not percentage-wise this year, but as far as throughout the course of history, obviously gold has done a much better job. What is better, weight or value? It depends. Okay, if you're buying towards the top, like right now, if you're buying collectibles like collectible gold and silver, you're more likely to keep the value versus the melt value. So if you buy, say, your Queen's Beast, right, the Lion of England or something like that, if you pay $70 for that or $100 for that, more than likely whenever spot price, drops, you're probably going to get that same price. And that's the difference between numismatic, semi-numismatic, or just bullion. That answers your last question too. All right, so the next one up is stack all day. If you knew when you first started stacking what you know now, would you even stack silver at all or strictly stack gold? I've been in the industry for about 20 years. I've been a collector my whole life, so I've been with silver pretty much the entire time. And I don't foresee myself ever not buying silver. If I could do it all over again? No, I would do it the same, because right now I'm buying based off of the overall percentage. And during the bear market, that was the time to load up on silver. It really was. I remember getting silver eagles for $2.50, $3 over spot. You can't even find that now on your generic rounds, really, to be honest with you. So I would not change that up, not one bit, because I've done well with my silver purchases from the past. So I think it's worth buying. I just don't think it's worth buying a bunch of it at the moment. So, which is why I've just bought nothing but gold for the past year and a half, to be quite honest with you. All right. So the next one up, Pork Chop. Pork Chop asked, do you think it's dumb to be paying the premiums on silver eagles and quarter ounce gold eagles? Gold eagles as the base of my stack. I love the dependability, and to me, it's worth the extra cost. Well, that's what it all boils down to for you, to be quite honest with you. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. I will say this, I'm not buying silver eagles. I'll buy the quarter ounce gold eagles if I find them at the right price. I have found a wholesaler that does sell those pretty cheap. So therefore, whenever those do become available, I snatch those up, the quarter ounce gold eagles. But silver eagles, right now, I'm not paying for them. Number one is you're paying $8 to $10 over spot for them. It's not worth it, in my opinion. I think there will be a better opportunity down the road to buy those again. So Mo Goggles asks, would you be more likely to roll crypto profits into gold or silver? Well, I've already done that this year. I cashed out my Ethereum in April of this year. I got extremely lucky, by the way. So I cashed that out and I got out of Ethereum, and I rolled some of that into gold, and then I rolled some of it over into USDC, and I have it over on BlockFi. As far as put it in silver, no, I wouldn't put it into silver. Nothing against it. It's just I feel that I was better off just buying more gold at that point. Dinah Watson asks, what were some of your mistakes, regrets while stacking precious metals? I will say my biggest regret was not starting sooner in the bear market. That is one that I kick around. I could have had a lot more because I didn't know it. But my LCS at the time, he was selling constitutional silver, junk silver for spot on the weekends. And I could have been loading up for years doing that. And he was doing it for quite some time. And those who bought in the bear market are really the real winners here as far as your precious metals goes. And they'll tell you right now that you're probably buying the high. And to be quite honest with you, we don't know that. Last time I checked, none of us have crystal balls. So, but that is one of my biggest regrets, is not starting sooner. All right. Origami Outlaw asks, is constitutional silver the better buy over regular bullion because there will be less of it available in the years to come? At the current price, no. I would stick with your 3/9 fine bullion. And the reason being is a lot of people, they stack constitutional silver for the fact that it's great as far as SHTF scenarios. And I disagree with that because most people don't know what constitutional silver is. Most people don't know that pre-1964 dimes contain silver. They just know that there's an old guy on the front of it. And a lot of people, they can't even name that old guy. So I would say stick to your bullion, stick to stuff that says silver on it. Now, as far as, because whenever you're thinking about that, you're thinking about a numismatic value in constitutional silver with it being circulated. This stuff was minted in the millions, by the way. Millions upon millions each and every year. So I don't think it's going to be ultra rare like some people are proclaiming. So JDre2155 asks, what is your cost threshold for pausing on precious metals in the short term? That's a good question. And I can't really answer that because I don't feel like pausing, to be quite honest with you. I don't have a problem with locking up funds in gold, to be quite honest with you, because of the fact that most of the gold that I buy or that I purchase, it's from my business. And the fact that I'll be locking up my business profits into gold is keeping that as my treasury and my savings. I think that is an excellent way to just save. And therefore, I don't foresee myself not buying gold in the current realm. But like I said earlier, if it helps me not work for someone else in the next 5 years, then sure, I would pause. All right, so 49's Fine asks, where do you recommend storing your precious metals? Safe, safety deposit box, vault, underground, hidden in plain sight, all of the above? I would say all of the above. I would say spread it out. Never leave all your eggs in one basket. That's the best advice I can give you. I'm not going to tell you how I store mine or keep mine or save mine or secure mine. I will never, ever explain that. That's why I've never done a video on security or anything like that. I don't want to give you guys any type of read on me at all. So I would say spread it out. He also asks, what percentage of your portfolio consists of precious metals? I would say about 10 to 12%. Now, last year, whenever everybody was screaming to take your money out of your 401k, take it out of the market, you need to get out of the dollar, I heard that over and over and over again. How wrong were they about those proclamations, about those predictions? Really, I gained, I think it was 45% last year just alone in my 401k. Silver only went up to 44% or 45%, somewhere like that. Gold did like 30 something percent. And then this year they both tanked. And then I'm still up another 35% right now outside of precious metals. So I think you should be more inside of the market versus inside the precious metals. But I find precious metals, like I said, I'm not like most. I think of it as a safety. So Austrian Stacker, he asks, when and why did you decide to make your own YouTube channel? Because I can't really talk about this with people that I know. It's not that I don't trust. Well, I don't I don't trust anybody, but I just don't want to give out that information, and I don't want to give people reads on me. So if I'm always talking about coins and bullion and gold and silver, people's eyes are going to light up and they're going to want to come and check me out. They're going to want to know where I live. They're going to want to know what I do with all my stuff. So therefore, I don't talk about it. And that is one of the main driving factors is why I started a YouTube channel, because I'm passionate about precious metals. I love it. And I wanted to talk about it. And I couldn't do that in my normal day-to-day life. Silver Soup asks, what is your preferred investment outside of precious metals? My preferred investment is I like safe things. Okay. I don't like taking a whole bunch of risks. I'm more about saving and not losing. So my preferred investment outside of PMs, that would have to be, I buy these every month, and that is VOO and VTI. And I just feel comfortable about those. They've done well. I've been buying them for a while now. In fact, I want to say it was either in April or May. I put $10,000 of my own money into the VOO, and it's done really well for me. And that's all that I really care about. I don't want to chase meme stocks, although you can make and lose a bunch of money that way. So that is my favorite investment. I like safe things. In your opinion, within a percentage basis, how much government silver bullion versus constitutional silver versus silver rounds, bars versus gold should one stack? And would you advise buying platinum or palladium? Now, platinum and palladium, I'll go ahead and answer that. Those are both risky metals. They're not monetary metals. So I would be careful with those. I am interested in platinum, but I need to see a little bit more from it. I need to see some potential before I start putting more and more funds into platinum. Palladium, I would not buy any right now. It does not look good for palladium. And you have to ask yourself, are they switching again? So that's one thing that I'm looking at. So the percentage basis of government silver bullion versus constitutional versus silver rounds, I will say the thing that scares me about constitutional silver is anything over $10,000 that you go to sell, like value wise, not face value, but value wise in silver, you'd have to submit tax forms, okay, federally. So I would stick to, and I know it's kind of contradictory, but I like my silver eagles, my gold buffaloes for that reason alone. It is the 1099B forms that you have to fill out. So therefore, that's why I'm stacking gold eagles, gold buffaloes. That's what makes sense to me. As far as your cost average, I mean, really, to be quite honest with you, your rounds, they're going for like $3.99 over spot, $3 to $3.99 over spot, when your maples are like $4. So to be quite honest with you, I would go with the government bullion 100%. Here's a good one. And a lot of people, they ask me why I don't do it. So Louis Pavea asked, is European and gold coinage well accepted in North America, Canada, and US? LCS pawn shops, stacking community, or is better to be graded in a slab? I would say the only thing that scares me about European gold or pre-33 gold, I'm just going to loop them all together, is the fact that I can't really loop pre-33 gold with that. So I'll say European gold does not perform as well here in the States. If I was to say go offload that at my LCS, I would not get the same price that I would for a gold eagle or a gold maple. I would get less. I would actually get less than spot on those, simply because they just don't have a lot of demand here in the States. But as far as pre-33, it's about the same. You'd get spot probably. A lot of that stuff has been cleaned, and I don't know. I'm not real big into buying circulated gold because gold is expensive. If I'm going to buy it, I want it to be pristine. I do like European gold. I think the value is there. I think you can get great prices on it. The problem is selling whenever you go to sell. So, and if you're going to leave it to your loved ones, you're going to leave them with a task. So here in the States, it just doesn't work too well. And then finally, think for yourself, ask, why does silver suck? Oh man, that guy cracks me up. Corn, love you, brother. It doesn't suck. It has its uses, and I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep talking about it. I like gold. I like silver. I think they're both worth having. I just don't know if you should be buying a bunch of silver at the current premiums that we have now. Nothing against those who do prefer it. It's just, that's just how I feel about it right this second. Well, that's going to do it for today, guys. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below. I don't know if I'll be doing another one of these videos. I like doing them, but I just don't know how well viewed they're going to be. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Appreciate it. Love you. Happy Thanksgiving. Keep grinding on your stack.